Hello and welcome to this weather update. It's February 15th, 2018. We got to do a weather update because we got some ridiculously warm temperatures, but we may have some snow for this weekend. So let's first look at some of the current conditions outside. It's 48 at Farmingdale, and we'll take a look at the high that was reached at Farmingdale today. Right now, the high was, the high was 52 degrees, so really warm for February, all right, but it was worse in other places, and you know what those other places were. Tom's River right now, so it's 48 at Farmingdale, but it's 58, a good 10 degrees warmer in Tom's River, and a lot more humid too. Dew points up to 54 degrees, and you might even need the AC there. I know somebody made a comment like, oh, why do you need the AC? You shouldn't put the AC on until it's over 90. Well, I've had a very low tolerance for warm weather my entire life. All right, so that is why. All right, it's been like that my entire life. It makes me sick. All right, so let's see what Tom's River got up to today. 59, so I got close to 59 in Tom's River. And next we're going to look at the Wonder Map, a larger view from the Wonderground website of the temperatures in our area right now. So here is a wider view of what is going on with the temperatures in our area right now. You can see that currently we have upper 50s still in parts of New Jersey, into parts of New York City. Quite warm. But then as you head over Long Island, this is what I like about Long Island. I do apologize, this is now stuck. All right, there we go. If you head over Long Island, to Long Island, you can see it's cooler, with temperatures generally in the upper 40s, but a good 10 degrees, maybe even more cooler, and that's due to the southwest winds passing over the ocean before they get to Long Island. Whereas in New Jersey and parts of New York City, you don't have that benefit, and it is significantly warmer. And some areas along the South Shore are even cooler here, where there's a nice sea breeze right here. All right, so these are the temperatures. Obviously, I shouldn't even be talking about sea breezes in February here, but here we are talking about it because of this anomalous warm weather that we are getting. But let's take a look at what some of the forecasts are as far as snow, and then we're going to look at some of the models. And it looks like there may be a ray of hope into March for a pattern change. So what we're going to be looking at here is some snowfall forecasts here from the Weather Service. We'll start first with the Upton, and then I'll look at the Philadelphia one. So we may get some snow on the weekend. Don't get your hopes up too much. It's not going to be a huge snowstorm, and originally it looked like one of the models was saying, the Canadian was saying it was going to be a fairly large one, but I don't see it. They have just a few inches for us. Would be Saturday night into Sunday morning. More or less a few inches. The higher amounts would be north and west. That is from Upton. Let's take a look at what the Philadelphia office has. So the Philadelphia office, similar amounts, are probably Tom's River won't even get anything at this point. And we're going to look at the models next, and you'll see why that the models are showing less snow for us. So we're going to first look at the GFS from 18Z today. You can see we have another rain event heading our way for overnight tonight into Friday, and that is associated with a cold front that is going to be moving through. So this cold front will move through during the day on Friday, and we have a big sprawling high pressure system that is over the upper plains, but this high is going to race through. So if you were hoping for a clear day on Saturday, no, I don't think we're going to see that. I was hoping originally we would get some clear weather, but it seems like it's impossible to get clear weather with this fast-moving pattern we are in, which really sucks. I think that's what I hate the most about it. It's just that we've had so many days where it's cloudy or there's cirrus around and you don't really have a nice sky, and it really stinks, you know. Anyway, so here we are into Saturday. That high is over us, and it's a fairly, I mean, it's not bitterly cold. It's just a seasonably cold air mass. Highs will be in the mid-30s. But that high moves offshore very quick, and we have this low that's now developing over the over here. So the question is, how much of a coastal do we get out of it? Where is that high set up? Does it move offshore really quickly? And if that happens, that's going to mean a quick changeover to rain. And according to the GFS, that's what happens. Rain in the coastal areas. There's no blocking to hold the cold air in, so it switches over to rain, and we don't really get much snow at all. And then another high builds in for Sunday, and that will just bring pretty up. That it'll already be above normal. There's no real cold air behind it. Be in the 40s that day. Whatever snow we get is probably going to melt almost right away. And then that ridge comes back for next week, and another rain event coming up here. That huge ridge next week is going to be brutal. It's February 20th in particular is probably going to be brutal. Could be 70 in Jersey, maybe 60s on Long Island with that southwest flow. It might almost go westerly, which may screw us too. And then as we go into Wednesday, we have another front, but that ridge is there, so that front stalled out. It looks like it's stalled out over us. Yeah, this pattern we are in is just pretty bad. So, the models have been advertising a change now. So here we go. Here's a coastal storm. That will be yet another rain event. But look what happens here. We have another big sprawling high pressure system that rolls in. But this high pressure is not moving as quick. And I'm hoping we could get some blocking from that. And then here's a storm track that's a little further to the south. And if there was a little more cold air here, maybe we could see a snow event from that. And then that low goes way to the north again. And do we get into the blocking? The models keep pushing this troughing back in the east. They always do this, and it showed this a while ago when we were getting our hopes up, and then the models delayed it again because it doesn't want to break down the situation on the west coast, which is a really strong Pacific jet and a high pressure. Basically, it's a ridge, but it's off the west coast. It's not, and so that leans itself to a trough. So it's still kind of stuck in this crummy pattern here. I can't say for sure when we're going to get out of it. So that is what the GFS has. Let's go ahead and look at the temperature anomalies here as we go in, so we can see where the warm and the cold air masses are. Very warm air, cools down, seasonable by the weekend, warms right back up again. Sunday's above normal, and then as we go into Tuesday and into Wednesday, we are going to bake here on the East Coast. I tell you what, I wouldn't give for a plane ticket over to the Dakotas right now, just to get out of this crappy air. It's awful. Let's see, do we get any significant cool downs? No, not really. It still wants to keep that trough in the west. It still wants to keep the trough. We were really getting our hopes up that there was going to be a pattern shift, but now the models seem, at least the GFS, seems to have backed off on it again. So this is the same thing that's been going on. The models keep doing this to us, and it's just torture. Will we ever get winter back? This may be one of the lamest winters in recent memory, as far as I'm concerned. Let's take a look at the Euro. The Euro is probably showing the same thing. Yeah, it does. It does. Above normal. This is horrible. This winter has just been awful. I already resigned to the fact that we're probably gonna have to for winter. We're probably gonna have to wait for next winter to come back. Unfortunately, whoops, that's not what I meant to hit. What I meant to hit is this. And actually, we're back at the GFS again, so that's not what I want. So let's see. We got. Here we go. That's what I want. All right. So let's take a look and see how the Euro handles the storm, at least. So yeah, we got that big sprawling high pressure, but that's going to race. Literally, this Pacific flow is killing us. You have a raging Pacific jet that's literally just pushing these air masses through like so fast. So you can't have any blocking, you can't have any sustained cold, and you can't have any snow, and you can't even have clear skies. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And you can see the trough in the west, and then next week we bake under this ridge from hell. We are going to bake. We're going to be setting records for sure next week. And it's just really bad, really bad. So really, really, really crappy pattern that we are in right now. And I just want to go ahead and look at the NAM model. Well, we can look at the Canadian model too. We'll go back. Let's look at the Canadian. What the heck? Let's see. We'll go over here. All right. And yes, we'll look at the snowfall maps. Trust me, it's not going to be very impressive. So we'll look at the Canadian, which was advertising this storm. Canadian suppresses it way to the south, but yeah, it's going to be just same old shit over and over again. Look at that ridge. This pattern we are in is just awful, awful. An awful pattern, like I said, and I think that I don't even know when I'm going to have a good day to go to the Pine Barrens, folks. We have to wait till Sunday, February 25th. We need a big high pressure to build in. And I mean, my gosh, we haven't had any clear days. I'm actually going to do a video about the amount of clear days we've been having, and it's separate. It'll be a separate one, I think. Um, so, all right, let's go and look at our. Let's change it up a little here. Let's go to the NAM. All right, we'll go to the NAM. Look at how the NAM handles things. Whoops. Show you. That high just, look at that, just poof, literally faster than an airplane. It's ridiculous. But the NAM's a little more impressive with the storm. It's a little more impressive, and I have a feeling if the NAM would have got its way, we'd have a little more snow in here. So let's go ahead now and look at the snowfall total predictions. I will go ahead and I'll put it in our area. All right, and we will go ahead and look at the snowfall total predictions from this model. All right, so let me just get it over here. I do apologize. I do the best I can with these screensavers. I mean, this screen capture program. All right, so the snow moves in. Yeah, that NAM is impressive. NAM gives us like 6 inches, but there's a really sharp cutoff. I mean, seriously, if you look at this cutoff, seriously, if you're in the western part of Toms River, you could have 6, 7, or 8 inches, and then in the coastal areas, you could have an inch or less. So that's pretty crazy. If that comes to fruition. But the NAM always has a tendency to overdo the snow. Let's go ahead and look at the GFS. Let's see what the GFS has to say with the snowfall. The GFS is much less. Yeah, it's barely anything. Not even nothing. And Canadian gives us a little more, but still not much. Just an inch or two. So the NAM is the outlier here with the computer. I think the NAM is the outlier. Yeah, so we'll go back to the national view here. And I want to look at a couple of other things here. We'll go back to GFS. I want to show you some other things that the GFS can predict. So when I was telling you about all the clouds that were around, so what I want to look at here, it's not. I'm just going to go over the skies here. So you have a total cloud fraction. This is a good thing to tell you whether it's going to be clear or not. And this is the problem we've been having when we can't get into clear skies. So go into the weekend here, Friday. It's going to be overcast Saturday. The clear air tries to build, but the cirrus rolls right in on us. It's not going to be clear. Cirrus is going to roll right in because that high is moving so fast that the dome of clear air literally is just gone when it gets here. And so on Sunday, do we clear out? Try to maybe in the afternoon a little bit. But I don't think the sky's going to be very good. Just lots and lots of cloudiness. It's just awful. Look at this. We're into next weekend here. I mean, this is just, you can't have one clear day here. This is unbelievable. We are just stuck in the clouds, and it's awful. It is awful. Just awful. And I'll show you the text guidance from the GFS, too. Alright, I'm going to show you some text models now. This is the GFS. I'll just show you the GFS just to show you that the clouds are going to be around. So this is the problem. Overcast tomorrow, and it just clears out for maybe 6 hours. And then by the time the sun comes up, which is around here, clouds roll back in again. Maybe Tuesday. Maybe we get into some clear skies Tuesday. I'm going to look now at the longer range GFS. It's just as bleak. So, go back here, Farmingdale. Again, and again, overcast, clouds up, maybe a little, and then just next week, lots of clouds around, and yeah, I don't know if it's going to clear out. I look at these above normal to 62 with putting 62 at Farmingdale. Let's see what it puts at Jersey. It's probably underdoing it. Yeah, 67 on Tuesday. Somebody's going to hit 70 next week for sure. That's Jersey. It's Belmar. Somebody's going to hit 70. Man, this pattern is just awful. Anyway, I want to go over the sea ice situation because the sea ice is running very much below normal, and nobody in the news seems to be talking about it. So we are at the nsidc.org Arctic Sea Ice Analysis and News. So, and I'll put the link in the site here in my thing because this is really alarming. We're going to go look at the sea ice extent here. which hopefully you can see here. And if you look at this line here, so the way this is orientated, it's hard with the aspect ratio, but where this line is where the median sea ice is. So you can see that there's huge gaps here. So over here there's a huge gap, over here there's a huge gap, over here is a huge gap, and look over here. There's absolutely no ice over here. So this is a sign that we have climate change. We are under climate change, aka global warming. This is what's going on. All right. So that's the sea ice extent. All right. So if you could see here, let me move this over down a little more. You can see this line here is median ice edge. This orange line right here. So you can see it's well below normal. All right. It's the sea ice concentration map, also below normal. You can see just we are really lacking sea ice here in the northern hemisphere. Very, very, very alarming. We are in a climate emergency. You know, it's pretty sad when you have an emergency going on and nobody seems alarmed at it. Nobody seems to care. You don't even hear about it in the news. Now, this is talked about in Europe. Almost every. It's one thing when my relative was in Europe, every newscast brought this kind of thing up. But nope, not here in the States. And here is a Arctic sea ice extent. And this here is really alarming. So here you go. I'm going to look at this chart here. All right. And this shows this blue line is this winter. And look at how low it is compared to, this was the next lowest winter here. All right. The 2011-2012. And this black line here is the median. Look at how much below normal we are in the sea ice. Look at this. So this is very, very alarming, folks. We are in a dire emergency. Dire emergency, and nobody seems alarmed. It's unbelievable how dumb people are in this country and how dumb the media is. I just can't even fathom how nobody could be alarmed about this. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is part of the reason why the winter, this is going to be one of the warmest winters we've ever had, and every winter after this. If you like winter like I do, folks, winter is going to be extinct at this rate. We need to pray for a volcano to erupt or something, a major volcano, or maybe even an asteroid impact or something to block out the sun to cool this planet down, because we are in a severe emergency right now. And if I was the president and I saw this, I would immediately move to ban all fossil fuel powered vehicles, all of them. All personal vehicles will be banned. You will have to switch over to hybrid, all right, and you will have to switch over to electric. And within 5 years. This is a dire emergency. Nobody's taking it seriously. It's unbelievable. And we also need to be moving to cool this planet down through whatever means necessary. All right? We need to talk about, spraying reflective particles into the stratosphere so we can reflect the sun and have reduced sunlight to the surface. So that'll cool the planet down. We need to work on cooling the oceans down with big ocean pumps. We are in a dire emergency here. And I know I talked about this in the last video, but this is serious when you look at this. This is serious, folks. Serious. Look at how low we are. Look at how low we are. We are lower than we ever have with the sea ice. This is an emergency. And nobody is alarmed. You don't hear about this on the news at all. So I figured I'd bring that up. That's the last part of this video. So check out this website here and educate yourself, because the mainstream media is completely lost and nobody is taking this seriously. I honestly think these are dark days for humanity, and I think we may wind up going extinct if we keep this up. So I'm hoping people wake up soon, because things are really dire. Things are really dire with the climate. And that's what I'm going to say. And I know a lot of other weather people will not bring it up, but I will bring it up, because they're afraid. Obviously, they're employed by the mass media. We got to speak up about what's happening to this planet. And if you like winter and you like clear skies, well, those things are going away. So tomorrow, I'm going to put together a video on how few days we've had with clear skies. And this relates to climate change, because there's more water vapor in the air, and that means more clouds. So that's it for this video. Please check out this website. Educate yourself on the decline of sea ice, and the decline of sea ice will mean serious problems with our climate in the future. We have an emergency on our hands right now, and I just want to say this is an emergency, all right? And the lack of alarm from our officials on this is very disturbing. And I really think that the other countries out there in Europe need to start pressuring the United States to do something. If I was the Netherlands, I would just ban trade with the United States. Just cut off the United States. Force the United States to get with the program. I love America. I still think this is the best country. But, man, we are dumb as dumb can be on this. We are dumb on dumb. It is America. You need to wake up and realize that we are in a serious climate emergency and something needs to be done as soon as possible. All right? I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it again. Anyway, thank you for watching.